Good afternoon. Welcome to Encore Palm Beach County monthly Zoom call. Today's topic is Wisdom and Experience Counts, and we'll be learning about the non-traditional educator positions that are available for mature workers with the school district of Palm Beach County. In October of 2021, Encore Palm Beach County held its inaugural Wisdom and Experience Works for Business Awards. 18 Palm Beach County employers were nominated for the award because of their recruitment, retraining, and retention of mature workers. And today we're happy to have with us the winner in the large employer category, the School District of Palm Beach County. They demonstrated their commitment to mature workers in a number of different ways, and we'll hear about some of those ways today. And we have two very special presenters from the Human Resources Partnership, starting with Dr. Arlene McDermott. Arlene is a human resource partner with the School District of Palm Beach County. She brings over 20 years experience to her current role as a former teacher, instructional coach, and assistant principal. And she'll be telling us a little bit more about her role as we get started. And also today we have Miss Latoya Bunche. She has 18 years of experience in the district, starting her career as a school bus driver and growing in several non-instructional leadership roles. And she'll be telling us a little bit more about herself as we get started. So please welcome our presenters, Arlene McDermott and Latoya Bunche. And I do have this on speaker view, but it does not seem to be grabbing the speaker. So let's see, maybe Arlene and Latoya, once you start speaking, maybe we will get to see just you. Arlene?
Hi, everyone. I'm Arlene McDermott. I am one of the HR partners here with the School District of Palm Beach County. This is my third year in the district. I am excited to be here. In my current role as an HR partner, I work with 41 schools within our portfolio, supporting those principals in all of their human capital needs. Part of what we do is we hire primarily teachers, but there are so many other positions that are there that are needed at our school sites, as well as our district sites, and I support that as well.
Thank you so much. Latoya, welcome.
Good morning,
Latoya.
everyone. My name is Latoya Bunche. I'm also an HR partner. I work between two offices, recruitment and retention, and administrative and non-instructional staffing. Substitute teaching, I am the manager that oversees the substitute program here within our district. I also work with our non-instructional staff as well. So I have more details coming about substitute teaching.
Very good. Thank you so much, ladies. The ladies have prepared a slide to tell us a little bit more about some of the opportunities available. So we are going to share the screen and let you get started. Whenever you are ready, Arlene.
All right, let me know when you can see it.
Okay, you're good.
And you guys see the PowerPoint, everyone sees that, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. So anyway, as Latoya mentioned, we are part of the recruitment and retention team here as HR partners. We do pre-employment, we do onboarding, and we do recognition throughout the HR department. Sure. All righty, so a couple of things about us that perhaps you didn't know. We are the 5th largest school district in the state of Florida and the 10th largest district in the nation. In case you didn't know this as well, we are the largest employer in Palm Beach County. We'll give Orange County to Mickey Mouse, but we will take Palm Beach, right? We are a high-performing A-rated school district. We have over 167,000 students with us. We employ approximately 26,374 Might be a little less now, which is one of the reasons why we are here, hoping to recruit individuals like yourself to join our team. We give a total teacher compensation package. Starting salary for our teachers is $47,500. Plus, depending on your advanced degrees, you can earn additional pay through a supplement. We offer health, dental, vision, and many more. And then, of course, paid time off. So that's always a benefit working with our district. To join our team, we always ask everyone to look at our website. It's here for you on this slide. You will apply to us at www.palmbeachschools.org/careers. If you are interested in teaching, we do require that you have a bachelor's degree or higher. That is a Florida Department of Education requirement for anyone that's teaching within the state. And if you want to find out more about teacher certification, if that's an interest of yours, we have that link also outlined for you. And I believe we can drop it in the chat at a later time as well. All righty. We want to also let you know about a couple of upcoming recruitment events that we have for educators. And that's classroom teachers is what we're talking about at this time. Specifically, on Wednesday, March 10th, we will have a face-to-face in-person event at John I. Leonard High School. That will start at 4 p.m. and goes to about 7 p.m. And there will be people on site there for you to have conversations with, be able to have your questions answered, and so forth. And then we have another event. This one is a virtual event that will take place on Thursday, March 24th from 4 to 7 p.m. as well. So those are two educator upcoming recruitment events. We are looking for teachers. If you know of anyone who might be interested in taking this route with us, we are really in need and we would value, obviously, just like myself, anyone over 50, to think about it and consider this second phase of their lives. And I'll turn it over to my colleague at this time.
All right, thank you, Arlene. And just so that you know, the substitute representatives will be present at those events as well. So you can join or anyone that you know, tell them, even if they're not ready to become a teacher, we'll be there on site and virtually as well to share more information about substitute teaching. So why become a substitute teacher? Let me tell you about this fabulous opportunity. First of all, substitute teaching can be a very rewarding way to give back to your community and to help, our students. It is also a job ideal for retirees because of its flexibility, right? So you still have the opportunity to be a part of the community and still kind of have a life outside of that. So if you look here, we talk about community partnership, we talk about flexibility, career pathways, and then the requirements. So again, we do a lot of things with the community. Right now, we're working with the supervisor of elections office. So we're also looking for people there. So we partner with a lot of community resources. It is a great way to build relationships as well. The job, again, ideal for retirees because of the flexibility. You have the ability to own your own work schedule. You can pick and choose what location you want to work at, what grade level, whether it's elementary, high or middle school. And even within those settings, if it's a particular subject that you're very comfortable with because of your past work experience, people come from different professions, and then they're able to translate that experience into our classrooms. And also, it's kind of a way to try it out. Like if you were thinking about becoming a teacher, but you not quite sure before you go on this pathway, as Arlene was sharing about the alternative certification, you kind of want to get your feet wet, learn about our organization, see if this is the right fit for you. What a great way to find out by taking the opportunity to substitute in our classrooms to see if that will work for you. If you're looking to maybe advance in our organization, maybe not necessarily right on the teacher track, or another way of having opportunities. We have an after school program. So a lot of our substitutes will work the classroom in the daytime, and then after school, that extended learning time where students have to stay after until their parents are able to pick them up. They work as counselors in the after school program to help with homework and other activities. Some of our substitutes may find, well, I enjoy a more stable assignment, so they may move into our paraprofessional roles or early childhood educational roles. And then ultimately, some choose, obviously, to become that certified teacher. And so we have great programs internally to kind of help you do that, as Arlene shared, and we'll be sharing some links for you to get more information about that. So currently, our requirements to become a substitute teacher are 30 semester hours of college. You do have to take a substitute workshop where you'll be receiving a certificate. That workshop can be completed face-to-face or it can be completed online. So you do have the option of completing that from the comfort of your own home. There are some exemptions. So on our website, which the link is here, and we'll be sure to drop the link to the specific substitute page as well in the chat. We'll tell you about those exemptions and how to qualify for them. And then you'll need one employment reference. So simply 3 things: education, the training, and then an employment reference. And then you can start with us as a substitute teacher. Next slide, please, Arlene. All right, and so pay rates, and good news, I'm excited that there's actually something that's going to our board to perhaps increase our pay rates even higher. Hopefully that gets board approved at the next meeting. But currently, these are our pay rates. So coming in with the minimum 30 semester hours of college, receive $12.33 an hour. There's also an opportunity if you work at what we consider high need schools, where those schools really do have a need for substitutes, or if you work in our Glades area, to earn an additional $3 an hour as well on top of these base pay rates here. Next slide. All right, and so we have a video from one of our current substitutes. Our communications department does a great job with trying to highlight our employees. Like we say, we recognize them and their efforts, and let him tell his story about what it's like to work as a substitute teacher. So Arlene is going to play that for you. I don't know if we can hear the volume, the audio.
Yeah.
We can drop the YouTube link to the video in the chat as well.
That would be great.
All right, so again, we'll be happy to have any of you that are interested in learning about substitute teaching, or being able to welcome you on board to give back to our students and to your community. And I'll hang around here for any questions that you may have for me.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry we can't hear that. Okay. All righty. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. If anyone does have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. And in just a few minutes, we will open up for questions. In the meantime, I'd like to ask a few questions of the ladies. So what is the overall demographic? I'm getting a little feedback from someone. All righty. What is the overall demographic? What would you say is the overall demographic of your workforce?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
This time? All right, perfect. Well, yes, we do have 46% of our employees are 50 or older. I am included in that group very proudly. So that means that when we're looking at a school with our size, we're looking at about 9,926 plus or minus of our entire workforce 50 or older.
Wow, that's a great, I guess that's why you guys were the winners. That is awesome. That is awesome. So what is your approach to recruiting mature workers? Do you have a special approach for mature workers?
Well, it's not that it's a special approach. We work with any group. We will work with universities for those who are just graduated, and you'd be surprised. Some of them are 50 or older as well. But one of the things that we are very proud to have done is obviously partner with Encore. This past fall, we had a presentation similar to what we're doing now, where we were able to have folks come on board and talk about the various positions again that we have to offer. We advertise through Indeed. We will share any openings that we have with Encore and any other groups. We can do AARP. We can, just get our information out there to as many organizations as we can and through as many mediums as we can, whether it's social media or direct marketing. Latoya, do you have anything else you want to add to that for substitutes?
So again, for our substitutes, we're constantly looking for individuals, excuse me, telephone, for individuals who are retired. Again, it's ideal for them. They have the flexibility to pick and choose. So we're constantly marketing our jobs to people who are 50 or older. A large percentage of our substitute pool as well are over the age of 50.
And has the pandemic changed at all how you recruit? We know you've had a lot of challenges in the last few years. Has it changed? And what issues have you had with hiring retention in the last 2 years?
Well, it's unfortunate. Like most industries, we know that there is a work supply shortage, right? We can't find workers, and education is no exception to that, unfortunately. But we do value all workers. And so unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess I should say, it's allowed us to be able to see new individuals that may not have considered education or substituting as a pathway previously. We do a lot of our recruitment virtually in this, through this type of medium, or in this type of venue, I should say. But as far as the pandemic, like everyone else, we are impacted, right? And so we have got to really step up our game and get out there and just make ourselves available to people who may not have considered education as a pathway for themselves. Latoya?
That's a good point. Latoya? I think she's putting something in the chat for us.
She might be taking another call, so we can go forward.
Okay, sure, we'll move forward. Okay. So what are your observations about working with a multi-generational workforce with regards to, say, teamwork and mentoring and mutual respect? Have you noticed any observations about how they work together?
Well, one of the biggest benefits, I would say, with a multi-generational workforce and being the size of our school district is that we get all different perspectives shared, right? You get it from an age perspective, you'll get it from an ethnicity perspective, gender perspective, and so forth. But what we have found is that our older workers tend to be more mentors with the younger generation. I can say from my personal experience, that is the case, where I do find myself sort of coaching those who might be a little bit younger, who may have questions about a variety of different things, not just when it comes to the work itself, but just life in general. I think that that's valued, and the workspace is somewhere where you can have those conversations and develop those relationships. And I think both individuals, myself as an older person, I get to learn a lot about those that might be 40 or younger, right? And what is important to them, and so on and so forth. But they can share a little bit of my experiences and my wisdoms or cautions or whatever it might be. So it's a wonderful thing where they get to mix and mingle together and learn from each other.
That's great, because we really, there's so much today that to learn from each other seems more so than ever. There's many of us of a certain age who have a lot of technical things that we really can learn from them, and they have a lot to learn from us, I think, as far as work ethic. I think that's something that the younger generation may not be as well versed in. So, yeah, so it's great that you can have both of them together. And I did notice that you had the gentleman there on the video who is from the Ford Motor Company. Do you find that there are a lot of corporations that are open to sharing their knowledge and sending people to you?
Well, that I'm not 100% sure of, and maybe Latoya can speak to it, but we do find, as Latoya mentioned before, that a lot of our retires will come back, just like Mr. McGinty, and they will substitute. They've had their careers and they have a lot to share. And so working with children, he's an engineer. You talk about math and science in those classrooms and the real world experience that he has to help show them how it's applicable, because students might say, well, why do I need to learn algebra? Or why do I need to do this, right? Here's someone who has that wealth of experience who can share with them, hey, if you know geometry, here are some careers. This is why you need to know how to read certain things, and so forth. So I think that that's important.
That is a great perspective. Latoya, did you want to add anything to that?
Absolutely, I agree. Just to be able to take that real world experience and bring it back into the classroom, let students know of opportunities, again, that they may not have considered. And Arlene is absolutely right. I have children of my own, and oftentimes, why do I have to do this? Or I won't need that. And just having people with this experience to be able to share and, change their way of thinking, to help them ultimately find later on a career that they may not have even considered. So,
right.
Awesome.
That's a great plus all the way across the board. So my next question was going to be, what do you see as the value of the mature worker? But I think you already answered that. Would you like to add anything more to that question?
No, just, a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge. Those are just some of the greatest things that, they offer. And again, I think it's just organic, right?
Yeah.
We sort of tend to go into that role of a mentor, right? Or a role model for individuals. It's just sort of organic. It's not something that you think about.
Right. And what would you say is the chief benefit? And I know this is kind of hard to discern, but for the mature worker, like regarding their purpose and fulfillment, have you seen anything from that perspective?
Yes, I would say, just like the research indicates, they feel more valued. Number one, research says we live longer.
Yes.
Right? When we go back, so that's always a plus there. And it gives them a sense of giving back, as Latoya mentioned, to the community, right?
Right.
I'm giving back. I've done, my 30, 40 years working, doing a variety of other things. What else can I do to give back? So I think that that's where we see some of the benefits coming from. Anything else
Latoya?
you want to add, Latoya?
And being able to do it on your own terms, like
Yeah.
with the substituting is I tell people it's very different than any other like part-time job where someone says, well, you have to be here Monday through Friday, from this time to this time, and if you're not here, then you don't have a job. Like, you own your own work schedule here. You know, you own what type of work you want to do. And so I think that's some real value for individuals who would like to take part in this.
Great. Yeah. I mean, we, at Encore, that's part of what we speak about all the time, and especially with volunteer opportunities as well, is the purpose and fulfillment that the mature worker gets from it. It's not always just about a paycheck. It's really more about what they get back as well. So it's really very, very interesting to hear your perspective. And what advice would you give to other employers about the benefit of hiring mature workers?
Look beyond typical stereotypes, right? Honestly, really and truly, just look beyond it. There's so much that 50+ workers have to offer. So if you just come and approach everything with an open mind, right? Don't look at one's inability, look at their abilities. What can they do? Maybe I can't, lift a 100-pound box, but can I lift that 20-pound box and be all right and do that, right?
Right.
So just look beyond those stereotypes and give mature workers the chance to prove themselves and show you what they got.
Yeah. That's a great perspective. Latoya?
And we can all learn from one another, regardless of the generation. We're all learning from one another. Everyone has something to impart. So I think it's a great idea to embrace those that are 50 plus and look for an opportunity to learn from them as well.
That's a great point. You both made excellent points, because that is part of our mission, is to get the word out about that benefit, and for other employers to really understand what value we really, I say we, I'm in there, Rosemary's in there, we're all in there together. So, it's really important to get the word out, when we speak about things like ages. I mean, it's kind of, it still happens, but the value of the 50 plus really is a lot more than in years past. I think people have realized that they don't just stop working because they retire, that there's so much more to life to continue on. And so if we can, get that word out about everything that we do bring to the table, and the experience and the wisdom, that I think we can all benefit by that. So in your article that you had written, your application for the wisdom and experience, you mentioned that you have workforce training on age discrimination and ageism prevention. So how exactly do you present that?
Well, our district has an equity policy, alrighty, regardless of an individual's age, regardless of an individual's background, socioeconomic status, etc. We do not allow discrimination. And I know that's an EEOC thing as well. And by, rightfully so, it should be, but that is something that we embody as a district. And so we have even created an equity policy that speaks towards that.
Excellent. Latoya, did you want to add anything to that?
And here in recruitment and retention, or HR, and I think throughout the district, we do have these equity trainings that we attend quite frequently, just to talk about those things and any type of biases to help people overcome those things as well.
Have you noticed, has there been any, obviously not by your demographic, but have you noticed or come across any issues of ageism maybe amongst the employees that you need to sort out? Or do you feel it's pretty much that everyone gets along? Well, obviously, because you have these policies, but do you find that, have you seen any?
Not to my knowledge, and even here in HR, we're very diverse in age, and we all work together, collaborating together. And of course, Arlene and I'm like the baby over here. You guys can pick me out of the meeting, but you know, I'm always learning from my coworkers, and Arlene included. So we work together fantastically.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I also read that you have a career changers program. What does that entail? Arlene?
Yes, any individual that joins our district, depending on the capacity that they're coming in on, we offer training, right? Some of the training through our professional development department, and some of it through just onboarding coming on, right? We familiarize you with the district. We familiarize you with what you need to know in order to do your job successfully. So it doesn't matter to us whether you are a former teacher or you know, you've never taught before and have, besides your own children, never been near a child, right? We help prepare you for that. If certification is involved, we help prepare you for that as well.
Great. We see we're getting a lot of questions. So, okay, let's move to the chat. Let's see what kind of interesting things everyone wants to know. Okay. Before I go there, is there anything that we didn't touch on that you want to address, Arlene?
As I mentioned before, I deal with the instructional side of things. And so if teaching, whether it's through starting out as a substitute and then maybe saying, hey, you know, I feel like I can do another 5 years on a full-time position or et cetera, and you're looking for that opportunity, please, by all means, just reach out to my department and we'll help you through the process for sure. And Latoya will do the same for anyone who might say, hey, no, I don't want to do it 5 days a week, but yes, I would love to come in and maybe give 2 or 3 days a week, get out, meet with these students, work with them and so forth. You can reach out to Latoya and she'll prepare you as well.
Great. Okay, so we do have a question from Toby. Other than subbing, what other things are available?
So remember, we're the largest employer in the county. So that means there are many, many opportunities. Pretty much everything is in-house. So I always say just about any job you can think of, we probably have it internally. Again, I started my career as a bus driver and I worked my way up, but we have our own transportation department. We have our own food service department. So if you don't want to teach and you don't want to be a substitute, but you want to, you know, be around students, a lot of people take the temporary jobs. Some of them turn into permanent jobs within the cafeteria, where they can help serve the student lunch, or they can monitor students in the cafeteria when they're having lunch. You can work in the classroom alongside a teacher, helping students in the classroom. We have the aftercare program. We have clerical positions. So there are a lot of different types of positions. I will drop the link to our website and our careers page, and you can definitely go there to see what opportunities are available. They have job descriptions that are also listed there, and then you can find pay rates as well.
Excellent. And I'm going to tag on to that question with, you know, one of our core missions is volunteerism. Or is there any opportunity for volunteers?
Absolutely. We do have a department that oversees our volunteers. So if you do not want to become an employee, you can certainly go on that track as well.
Great, great. Arlene, did you want to add anything to that?
No, Latoya said it perfectly. I know someone, I think I saw someone mention something about private tutoring.
Yes.
We do hire tutors as well. Many schools have a budget where they can bring folks in to help tutor after school and so forth. So that could be something you can look into.
Great, great. That was the next question here. And Eduardo asks, my number one concern would be the tremendous respect that we had for teachers in my days. Is that the same respect being afforded to teachers nowadays? Latoya, you want to start with that one?
Well, sure. Our district is about supporting the teachers and encouraging and putting policies and things in place to make sure that teachers are respected. I know a lot of times at the beginning of the school year and throughout the school year, principals will hold assemblies, with their students and their parents before the school year begins to make sure that they're expressing the importance of what their standards are on their campuses, what their expectations are, and then being able to send a message that they're going to be in support of their teachers and all of the rest of their staff as well.
Arlene, any take to that?
No, I think Latoya said it all perfectly well. Teaching is a work of love. It really is, right? None of us go into this field thinking we're going to become millionaires. Bill Gates is not my ultimate aspiration, right? It's to impart this knowledge to our children. And as an educator, I can say it does my heart such good and such joy. And especially when you see someone 4 or 5 years later, may have been the class clown, etc., right? But you get to see how they've grown. And then you have that conversation with 1 or 2 of them, and they'll say to you, hey, Dr. McDermott, you remember this? You were my this, or you were my that. And that's the point. And that's the point of when you realize what an impact you had on the minds of these individuals, right? At the time, maybe you couldn't see it, but it's there. You are making a difference. You may not know it, but you are making a difference. And so that's what I have to say with regards to our teachers still respected and still loved. I would say, yes, we are.
That's great. That's great. And as you're saying that, I'm envisioning some of my old school teachers that I still remember. I think we all remember certain teachers, at certain points in our life. So yes, they definitely do have an impact. And I'm happy to hear that you still feel that same way today. That's wonderful. And actually, Eduardo tagged that with, why is it so difficult to retain good teachers? Latoya?
Well, right now, retaining good teachers is not something that's limited to our school district. There's a national shortage in regards to retaining teachers. So, that's some things that we're looking into to try to have a better understanding of what causes teachers to leave the profession. But right now, that is not something that's isolated only to our district. Arlene, you may have more information on that topic. She works directly with the teachers. I'm not sure. I'm more on the non-instructional side.
And what Latoya said is correct. We are in every industry, right? And not just education, having a hard time retaining employees. And we know, we've been saying it for a million years, right? That teachers just aren't paid, perhaps sometimes too, what their true worth is. And, that's a little bit maybe above us. At this level, that might be something for the state and federal government start looking at, right? How are we compensating teachers? Again, we don't go into it because we expect to be millionaires, but I think it's important for educators to be able to afford appropriate housing, right? To be able to live, be able to have certain things. A lot of people may not see it as a middle income profession in some places. We consider it to be, but with inflation and everything else, people might say, you know what? Yeah, because I need to put food on the table, let me look at this other, career pathway or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I have to agree with that. Yeah, it's across the board. It's it's not just teachers. There are so many professions that are so valuable that really are not paid their worth. So totally agree with that. And this is for Latoya. Eduardo again asked, the Hispanic student count is increasing ever so rapidly. Do we have a comparable representation of Hispanic teachers?
And so I think Arlene shared earlier some demographics about what our demographics as they relate to the different categories of our workforce. But our district does take a look at that, and we want to make sure that we're hiring staff across the board to fairly represent each group of students in our system.
Thank you. Okay. And Cindy asked, do you have night or weekend schools, alternative schools, and private tutoring?
So I just dropped the link to our adult and community education page. They have programs for night school, weekends. Some of those are like GED-based programs for adults who are looking either to go back and get their GED, or if they are here newly from another country and they need to learn English. And then we have the community education side of that. If you're looking for opportunity, there may be cooking classes or sewing classes or different types of classes for you to participate in. And there are opportunities not only to participate as students, but there's opportunities as well to teach any of those classes. Some of them range from yoga to CDL training, etc. So I dropped the link there for you to check out that site as well to see what opportunities or what courses you may be interested in taking as well.
Excellent. I've taken a few through the years myself, so Italian, dance, so I know there's quite a variety. And if you want to learn a second language, I think that's a great place to learn as well. So definitely. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat. So if anyone has a question, please feel free to raise your hand and unmute yourself. Anyone? I know Rosemary usually has her questions prepared for our speakers. I don't see her. Rosemary, you still on with us?
Oh, yes, I'm
there
here.
There she is, okay.
And yes, I always have questions. Arlene, maybe I'll address this to you or Latoya, I can't remember which. There was some talk about volunteers in the schools. Early on in the development of Encore Palm Beach County, I encountered people who would have liked to have volunteered to help out in the classroom in some other ways. And I got in touch with a woman who is a volunteer director for the school system. She retired, and it seemed then that there was no central place to find out where volunteers are needed. When I did contact people who still were in that area, they told me to send people to the school nearest them to ask if they need volunteers. And when people went to the schools and asked if they needed volunteers, it was said, no, we don't need any volunteers. And that was the end of it. And it just seemed to me that that has kind of that kind of guidance from a central source in terms of people like to volunteer, read to students or whatever, kind of disappeared. And that was before the pandemic. What would you say to people who are not looking for employment, but would like to just volunteer to help out somehow?
Sure. We do have a district volunteer coordinator. Her name is Stacy Oak. And what I'm going to do is paste her information in the chat for you all. I've put the link to the actual volunteer site for you, but I'm going to also paste Ms. Oak's information, her email there. But we do have a centralized volunteer district coordinator.
Okay, maybe that's a new person. It just seemed like there should be one place to go to find out what's needed and where it's needed, and what support there is for volunteers. My second question is, there are a number of links that you've put in the chat for teachers, for substitutes, for volunteers, and so forth. If a person doesn't fit those categories of either being a teacher or a substitute, which is the one website to go to find out about the other opportunities? Is that in the chat? There are so many different links here.
Everything can be found on our main website, www.palmbeachschools.org/careers, and we'll put it in there for you. And if you click on that link, it'll take you to our careers website, and then you will see a list of various positions that we have available, like Latoya mentioned earlier, from food service workers, transportation workers, and I think Latoya just put it in the system, in the chat for you just now as well. Substitute teachers, all the positions that we have available can be found here at this site.
So while there are the specialized links, everything is actually under that one that Latoya just posted.
Yes, you can,
Okay.
right, you can click that
And
main
Arlene,
one and navigate to all the others.
And Arlene, if I could, just for convenience, would you email that to me? Because we really should have that portal up on our website. You know, we have a page with job portals for many different employers. And while we've talked with you over the last few months, we don't have your employment portal on our work resources page, and I'll see that it gets there.
Absolutely, we will.
Okay. And also Mr. McGinty said he was 80 years old, so I guess you don't have any top level to ages, as long as people bring experience and skills that are needed. Is that correct?
That's
That is
absolutely
100%.
correct.
Well, you know, a lot of people who have a lot of work experience or education, and they're looking to do something, they don't always see that their skills are transferable to something new. And it sounds to me as if there's more possibility for that in the school district system. People who have all kinds of backgrounds. Would you say that was correct?
Yes, we would, 100%. I mean, again, think about this gentleman, Mr. McGinty, he's from Ford, right? And we know that they manufacture vehicles, right? And we know that all of the things that the students are learning needs to go into manufacturing that vehicle, from the design and the actual vehicle itself, right? Assembling the parts, being able to measure the width of what the tires, or should be, and so on and so forth. So all of these skill sets that Mr. McGinty had can be transferred into so many different things in our district with our students. He might be, again, someone was talking about tutoring, right? He can possibly tutor someone in math, in science. So his skill set definitely is needed and welcomed.
And I think I would say my last question is, somebody mentioned corporations and partnering with corporations. At Encore, we've talked somewhat about the idea of corporations, businesses, local businesses, freeing up employees to volunteer in various ways and still hold on to their jobs. Because one of the things that research has shown is that people who volunteer before they retire tend to continue volunteering afterwards. And so I was wondering if you have a clear cut or existing program of communicating with area companies about that for people to volunteer within the school district, and perhaps also to kind of loan employees to the school district for teaching possibilities to help out. You know what I'm saying is that there's a workforce that could also be tapped into. And I've often thought that the United Way, which has connections with many, many companies and their fundraising efforts to benefit communities, could become more of a partner in that. Has there been any thinking along those lines?
That's not an area, unfortunately, that I'm familiar with, but with regards to volunteerism, Stacy Oakes, the volunteer coordinator, might be the best person to have that conversation with.
Could you send me a contact information for her, please?
Absolutely. I will include it with the careers page information in the email for you.
Lovely. Thank you, Arlene.
My pleasure.
Maybe other people have more questions.
Yes, Lisa has her hand raised. Lisa?
So good afternoon. Thank you again to both Arlene and Latoya for sharing all of this information. So I did put in the chat to both of you. Would love to connect with you. I work with a company called Right Management, and we have a program called Life Options, which really is for those professionals and executives that are kind of exploring this next phase of their life, this next chapter, this, as Rosemary says, the encore. So what I'd love to be able to do is I've asked both of you in the chat to just sort of, I've sent you my contact information, and I'd love to connect with you. Latoya, on LinkedIn, I found you. And I sent you a message. Arlene, I'll try to do the same, but I'd love to talk to you guys to see if maybe, you know, we can explore maybe working together a little bit more.
If I could just pop in there, Lisa, it was great to hear from you about that, because one of the things that we do need to think about is people either planning for retirement or shifting out of a workplace. They may not know anything about the opportunities that are to develop a new career.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and I do see Eduardo did post as well. Thank you, Arlene and Latoya. You are both an incredible asset to our school district. He said, I recently had the opportunity to speak at John Leonard High School through Junior Achievement. We need more individuals to volunteer to share their stories with our students.
Absolutely.
Comments?
Thank you so much, Eduardo. And Lisa, we put the I put my email in the chat for you.
Thank you. And I just
you
responded to you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Eduardo. Yes, we do. And hopefully Rosemary can make that connection with our volunteer department. We appreciate
Excellent,
it.
excellent. Are there any other questions? I think this was a very worthwhile discussion, ladies, and we really appreciate you sharing your expertise with us. And I think Eduardo is right. You really are an asset. So thank you so very, very much. And we're very proud to have you as one of our Wisdom and Experience winners and achievements. Your achievements are beyond, what's the word I'm looking for? Rosemary, help me.
Beyond.
Beyond. And we thank you all. I see someone has a hand up. I see a hand up, but I'm not sure. There's no name next to it. Is there someone that would like to saying raised hand, but
Yeah, and that was me, Christine, but I
Oh,
raised
okay.
my hand physically like that, so it all works. No worries.
oh, okay, perfect. Okay, great. And thank you, Lisa, for your questions and your information as well. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, ladies. This was very, very enlightening, and we look forward to future relationship with the School District of Palm Beach County. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.